You're listening to The Black Woman in the Corner Office, the podcast for women who lead, influence, and carry a whole lot more than what shows up in their title. I'm your host, Dr. Ebony Stone, and each week we talk leadership, power, community, and what it really takes to rise without losing yourself. If this conversation resonates, go ahead and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Hello, 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 and welcome to the Black Woman in the Corner Office. I'm your host, Dr. Ebony Stone, and I'm back with another incredible guest. I am so amazed. You know what? Let me take that back. I'm not amazed with the number of just incredible Black women that I run into and I get to speak to. And so today I'm here with another who goes by the name of Tracey Ilene. Welcome, Tracy.
Thank you, Dr. Ebony Stone. I appreciate you from allowing me to be here and sharing your podcast space. And by the way, I love the name of your podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. That name is funny because I will tell you, when I thought about it, I thought about all the Black women all over the country in offices, right, doing the work and feeling alone. That is what that was the imagery. And so when I started to do this podcast, I said, no, we're going to come together. I'm going to bring all these ladies together. I'm going to tell these stories and let them know they are not alone. And that was the imagery that I had. Well, fast forward, I find out, because I never really explained that imagery. Fast forward, I find out that most people, when they watch the podcast or listen, most people listen to the podcast, they don't watch it, but when they listen to the podcast, they watch the podcast, they come to the live events, whatever, the Black woman in the corner office, they see as me. And I'm like, well, I'm just one, right? I wasn't naming myself. I was naming the collective, right? It's just one. So thank you for that. I'm glad that the name lands with folks. But we're here to talk about you.
Let's go.
Okay, so let's talk about you. So I am going to give just a brief introduction of Tracy, and I will allow Tracy to kind of introduce herself. Now, listen, y'all know I'm all about transparency. I'm about integrity. I'm about honesty, right? So in full disclosure, although Tracy is doing amazing things in the world, I get the opportunity to call Tracy cousin. So I just want to put that out there. I married Tracy's first cousin. So I've known Tracy for quite some time. But the things that she's doing now really intrigue me. I have not been a part of that journey with her. So I'm very interested to hear about that journey and how she got there. So Tracy is a transformational coach, which is so cool. I love that. And the name, she's the CEO of Release Pain to Power, where she is a transformational coach, and she coaches women to release their pain and anxiety caused by hardship and trauma. She has also created a mobile app called Heavenly Connects, and it is a sacred app. You can upload your loved ones' voice messages, text messages, photos, videos, all of those things. So we're going to hear more about that. And there is a social feature for that app as well. And then lastly, if she wasn't busy enough, Tracy has an ebook and has won many awards. So I'm excited to get into this, Tracy. Congratulations on all this going on.
Thank you for that introduction. I appreciate it. I'm glad to call you family as well. You're my sister as well, too.
Yes,
let's
thank
go, sister.
you.
Let's go have this conversation.
Yes. So, as I like to do, I got the inside scoop, right? But I want you to tell our listeners a little bit about your career journey. Go back as far as you want to. Some people have gone back to high school because that's where they feel like their career started. Others, started a little sooner. Where as far back as you want to go. Tell us about Tracy when she first entered the workplace and what that journey has been.
I started working at Kenny Shoes Store, so that's going to tell my age.
Oh,
I'm 69, right? At Fairlane Mall in Dearborn. That was my first job in sales. And then I worked at Winkleman's. That was my second job in sales and shoes, the shoes department. And then Lord and Taylor and other retail stores. And in high school, I always wanted to be a stenographer. I know it's all digital now, but I used to know how to do the type it so fast, over 100 and something words, the stenography and all that good stuff. I used to be able actually to write it too. So, yeah. So it all started there, being in sales, being very social in high school and in business courses as well. But I didn't have the opportunity to go to college right away. I actually wanted to go in the military for a time, believe it or not. Okay. And that's a history in our family and both sides of my family as well. Yeah. But I always wanted to go in the military, and my grandmother discouraged me, and then I didn't go. Okay. So I entered the college space late, being married, having my first, being late, being married, but then my first son, Leland, while I was at Marygrove College, I ended up getting pregnant, so I stopped. And then that was I was in a program for international business. And then 12 years later, I went and got my marketing degree. And then during COVID, and my marketing degree was when the recession. And then in COVID, I went and got my degree in, I got in business administration, MBA, right? And then that was during COVID. So it seems as though Tracy has this pattern when there's some big catastrophe, some issues going on or something, Tracy goes back to school. But I have no desire to go back now. Okay. Even though we got some things going on in this economy today, I have no desire. But what I will say, I'm interested in getting my AI certification, and I'm taking some free training, but I would like to get in depth with it. But yeah, that's educational for me. And then my professional first job was at Ameritech Cellular. Okay. That goes way back. And that was in sales and then in fraud. And then I was a total of 25 years in the wireless industry, from an individual contributor to a director leadership role, managing up to 50 people. I also was account manager, training manager on a regional level, a national level. So all those titles don't necessarily mean anything, but it did enhance my skill sets and my experience. So that's the way I look at it. And then the last 3 years, I was in automotive, and my desire was to get into automotive. So during COVID, I finally got a call to interview after applying for the major manufacturer here. And I applied for 10 years and 10 years and 49 positions before I got into automotive.
That is crazy. I just interviewed someone, another Black woman, who said they applied to a particular organization 77 times. Mm-hmm. And I could see if these weren't highly qualified individuals.
Yes.
But it blows my mind that highly qualified individuals are not getting through the door. You and I, before we started recording, we're just talking about the 400,000 plus, because the number is still coming in, of Black women who are out of work in 2025 alone. And DEI programs are being shuttered. Affirmative action is gone. But I think that before any of those programs were in place, or even while they were in place, we still were struggling to get it noticed, to be seen. So I want to talk a little bit about the career. So what I hear, so you said it seems like when there's a major catastrophe, Tracy goes back to school. What I hear is that Tracy reinvents herself as necessary. That's what I hear, right? And so many of us do.
Yes.
As you went through the career and you started off in retail sales, end up in cellular sales, in leadership, I know that journey was not without obstacle. So can you tell us about maybe obstacles that you came up against in that journey?
I was thankful that I started in the wireless industry for 25 years, and was in it for 25 years from an infant industry to where it is today. So I didn't necessarily have any career challenges because we followed each other from carrier to carrier, third-party marketing companies, the distributors. So that was great. Even though we followed each other, but I was qualified to follow those individuals, right?
Okay.
But the challenge that I really had is when I was relocating from California and Illinois from the same wireless carrier company, very popular one today.
Okay.
I couldn't get an internal transfer.
And tell me, why were you looking to transfer?
I was getting an actual transfer because at the time I was married and we were in California, and we, Kevin and I, my ex-husband, we spoke on let's relocate because I wanted to have my children closer to our family in Michigan. So we agreed on the Chicago area. And I was working at a wireless carrier and actually went to the wireless carrier had an interview in the Chicagoland area, right? And sat in front of all these men. They didn't look like me, but I didn't get the job. And I was already a sales manager on the same channel, an indirect sales manager, coming from a number one market, which is LA, going into a B market, which is Chicago.
Yes, which is crazy. What I want to point out, and I asked you that, I didn't know why you were transferring at that point, because at that point I hadn't married into the family, right? I don't know, but I had a feeling that it might have had something to do with a personal situation. And it's really interesting. We hear organizations tout the family first. We hear organizations talk about how they want to support their team members, right, or employees, or whatever term they may deem necessary to call the folks that work for them. They want to support them. We hear that there's no life-work balance. Work is a part of life, but then when it comes down to it, the proof is kind of in the pudding. And it doesn't happen for a lot of organizations. Now, to be fair, there are some organizations out there that support, or just individuals, right? I've said it before. Before I left my last role in corporate, my boss was absolutely amazing. I could have said, and I did say to her, there were times where I said, hey, I just need to sit with my feelings, right? When the murder of George Floyd, I said, I just need to sit with my feelings. And her response was, take as much time as you need. And so I was off for a few days. She was amazing, right? But there are others out there that are not. How did you navigate that, and what ended up happening?
Well, here's another story with trying to get a transfer. It didn't happen once. I was with another major wireless carrier for 5 years, and I was trying to get a transfer, and I couldn't get a transfer at all. And I actually helped launch that carrier.
That's crazy. So what did you do, and how did that impact your family dynamic?
Well, we ended up relocating without me working.
Okay.
And then I was able to find another position, but I had to take a lower role. I was qualified for that role, but then I had to get a role that was paying less money. And I was a regional training manager.
Okay.
So that's how it really ended. It was just simple as that, which is very challenging because when you have income, you don't want to leave.
Right.
Right. You don't want to leave it. And then, LA pays very well, top tier pay. But I should have been able to transfer with one of those companies. That was very disappointing. And it was hurtful. It didn't feel good at all.
You don't feel supported, No,
you don't. And I was given high recommendations from my leaders from within both organizations.
And you start, at least this is my assumption, you start to think about the sacrifice that you made for the organization. Why can't the organization make a sacrifice for me? Right. And I don't know what year that was, but you fast forward to the pandemic and you realize, like, you could have just let me work online, because when you need me to work online, we go online. What about me when I need to work online? Can I just go online until we can figure this out? Um, so okay, so you've been
So that's
through.
interesting about, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
That's interesting about how you say work online. You know what is really interesting is by me being in sales and being out in the field, customer facing, all my throughout my career, is I work from remote and home for all my roles for 30 years, been in my career. I've been a home office user since 1997.
Wow. And
Since 1997.
wow. So before we were all doing it, you were blazing that trail for us.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Yes.
And they find that it's companies save a lot of money and individuals are more productive because of work-life balance.
Yes.
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 And you know your employees, you know the individuals that's not being disciplined to do their job. It's easy to find out because I was a leader before, right?
It's not hard. It literally is not difficult. And I've been in leadership positions too, and you're like, dude, you have not done anything all day. I know you haven't. Like, you have nothing to show for it.
Yes. You're not returning emails, you're not returning calls.
Yes.
You're not even, I can't even see you on Teams. You can check in electronically. You can do it all kinds of ways.
Yes.
And
Yes.
don't let the client start calling.
Yes. Tracy, I have had people, that's a whole nother story. I don't even know if I can tell you the stories, but I've had people claim to be at work and be sleeping, claim to be at work and miss meetings because they were off doing whatever, claim to be at work and they were working another job, right? Because some people, believe it or not, and I've heard other people say this, people will get multiple online jobs and try to work them at the same time. The whole thing, right? And some people, maybe you can, right? Maybe some people are talented enough to do it. You just can't disappear for 4 or 5 hours. You can't do that, So it's really the online world is interesting.
It is.
But okay, so you're in the wireless world. When does that, around what year does that end, and what did you do? Because you went into automotive, right? So that ends. You go into automotive. Around what time is that? What year?
My wireless career ended in 2017. And I believe that it ended because they were hiring younger individuals.
Hmm.
And it became more of a good old boys network. Prior to that, it was very diverse. And believe it or not, I was laid off 4 times in that industry.
Not from the same company though. 4 times.
No, nope,
Okay.
just within the industry. Downsized, position eliminated, laid off, what have you. All those different titles.
Okay. And so then you went to automotive.
I went to automotive in 2023.
Okay.
They
And
relocated me over to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, and then tell us that story.
Yeah, I went in 2021 after trying to get in for 10 years and 49 jobs later. I was relocated to Ohio, a place that I didn't want to go. But guess what? It was my dream company and my dream job. I said, let's go. And I had a condo that I didn't want to sell, but I had someone to rent it. And then once a year later, she was ready to move. With the bylaws for the homeowner association, I couldn't keep it. And I couldn't rent it out because their rental to ownership was already at their quota. So I sold, and then I leased over there. And then I was in Ohio for a year and a half. I was district manager. I was #1 district manager 6 months in a row and #4 in the country for all my cap goals. I had no automobile experience. And from what I heard is the good old boys have been within the organization for 20, 30, 40 years. The managers did not want to train an outsider like me. Then I also was told too that I did get in because of quota, because there wasn't enough women.
Okay.
Yes, and it's still not enough women, as we know, right? And then I got promoted and moved to Maryland a year and a half later. And then in June 2024, my position was downsized.
Okay.
And then I moved back home to Metro Detroit area. Now I had 400 dealerships at that time. I was very successful with onboarding those dealerships. I supported a new product and a new brand. And then I was downsized and I had to turn in my company car within 2 weeks. So I had to buy a car. And then I decided if I was going to stay in that brand new house that I had built. And after being there about 9 months, I said I'm going because I had no family there. Yes. And they would not allow me to even buy the car, the company car that I had.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you built a house in Maryland.
Built a house in Maryland.
Okay. And so you had to sell that house to come back here.
Yes, I built that home because the short version of that is I was leasing in a townhome and it was fully renovated, but it had major issues once I moved in. So they broke the lease for me. So then I started looking, and it's so expensive to live in the DMV area. And then a lot of the homes are older homes with no garages, no central air.
Yes.
So I said, value for my money, I might as well go further out because I lived an hour and a half from DC, right? Oh, wow. And from Baltimore, out in the country, a city girl in the country.
Okay.
Yes. And then I literally had cows on the same street as me.
Wow. A coworker of mine moved to Arizona, similar situation, far away from Phoenix, kind of out in the country, if you will, of Phoenix, I guess more desert.
Yes.
And that's what she was saying. She was like, you have to be careful because of the animals crossing the road and all of those types of things.
Yeah, I had all the critters, all the deers, rabbits, raccoons, coyotes, you name it. So all those critters, and the cows were right up the street. And when I go walking, I can smell the manure. How about that?
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
That's not pleasant.
And I walked and rode my bike so much because I wanted to stay busy. And then I had to commute to DC or Baltimore for all my activities.
Yeah.
So you had this Black woman living in a predominantly white area, was no diversity of too much of other ethnicities. And, I waved, how y'all doing? Friendly Lucy, me, I had no culture there for myself, but I dealt with it. But then I had that house. I built a house further out because it was more affordable. And then when I got downsized, I'm like, what do I do with this beautiful dream home that I actually got on my own since my divorce, right? My condo was my first home in Southgate, Michigan. And then I built a home on my own, which I had built homes before with my ex-husband, Kevin. But to be able to do it on my own, oh my goodness. That was a big deal.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yes, had to have my credit scores of over 700 at that time because when you divorce, your credit goes bloop. So anyway, I did that. And then, it took a year. My house just sold. I put it on the market June of 2024. It just sold in October 2025. And 5 other brand new homes are on the market at the same time. No homes were selling. I ended up doing a short sale and I didn't make $1 or a dime.
Well, the reality is, Tracy, right now in this economy, a lot of people are struggling, right? A lot of people are just struggling to make ends meet. More and more people, I'm hearing women saying, hey, I got to pick up a part-time job. Hey, I got to take a second job. Hey, I got to sell this asset. I got to sell that asset. I need to downsize my home, or, I can't do the things that I wanted to do or that I'm used to doing, right? Or just in that economy. But it sounds to me, based on your CEO titles and all of the things that you're doing, that you decided to take all of that and create your own from it. So tell me when that decision was made. When did you say, I'm going to become a coach? When did you say, I'm going to create this app or I'm going to write this book? Like, where did all of that come from? This portion of today's show is brought to you by Her Balance Vaginal Probiotic Gummies by Black Girl Vitamins. Many women experience shifts in pH, freshness, and balance due to stress, diet, hormones, and lifestyle changes. Black Girl Vitamins aims to fix that with the launch of their new Her Balance Vaginal Probiotic Gummies. This crayon pineapple flavored blend of probiotics and prebiotics sets Her Balance gummies apart from many vaginal probiotic gummies on the market. It has been proven to support beneficial bacteria, promote microbiome balance, maintain healthy pH, enhance daily freshness, and support urinary health. Hey, it's candy for your kitty, but actually, it's healthy. Her Balance supports everyday feminine comfort when things just feel off and supports urinary wellness as a part of a complete daily routine. Try Her Balance for 20% off your first order now through June 30th, 2026 with discount code Dr. Ebony.
Be honest with you, my colleagues actually told me years ago, Tracy, you should be an entrepreneur.
Ah,
I should have leaped on that faith when I was actually married because we had two incomes, right?
yeah.
But I didn't because I got lost in husband, dog, cat, frog, house,
All
children.
the things collecting, like I like to say, we were just collecting the things. You and I, not that I think people are things, but I think as Black women, we have a tendency because we're told you got to work twice as hard to get half as far, and so you start as a little girl collecting. You're collecting
You did,
certificates in school, citizenship awards and attendance awards and scholarship awards, and then you go on to colleges and universities and you're collecting awards, and then the jobs become a trinket and the husband becomes a trinket and the family becomes a trinket and the house becomes, we're just grabbing these things. And
yes,
one day we look up and we're like, what about us?
right,
What about
right. And don't bring in the animals, the goldfish, the turtles, the PTA meetings, parent teacher conferences, the field trips.
yeah.
Oh, I was a hockey mom, football mom, baseball mom, track mom, soccer
Mhm.
mom.
Yep.
Woo!
Been there, done that. Been a
And
track mom. And listen, if you've been a track mom, that is no joke.
how
The
about
track,
sitting in the weather in California being a track mom? Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
no
And we had
joke.
no family. We had no family in Illinois or California.
Right, right.
And daycare costs.
Oh my goodness.
So in 2018, my BFF sister has a business. I got to give her a shout out because women can use her as leverage up your business and
Okay.
leverage up your life. She's an awesome business strategist, awesome coach. And so I signed up for her program.
What's her name?
Her name is Monique Magnagot.
Okay.
Monique Magnagot. And it's leverage up your life and leverage up your business.
Okay.
And she's been in it for a long time. And actually, she's an attorney.
Okay.
So I signed up for her program. And she told me, she said, Tracy, what is it that you want to do? Entrepreneur. I want to get a retail store. She's like, I want to get a boutique. She's like, really, Tracy? Think bigger than that. I'm like, well, that's what I want to do. So finally, getting out of my own way, I said, okay, what is it that you think I should do? She said, I think you should tell your story.
Hmm.
I'm like, oh. And then I thought, oh, the family is going to be mad at me. Oh, the family not going to like me. Not like all of them like me now, but okay, that's another story.
Okay.
She's like, just live your story, walk in your truth, walk in purpose. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna do that. So I sat down and I wrote down all my traumas as a little girl starting at 12 years old.
Okay.
To today.
Okay.
I have 14 traumas.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And one actually is not knowing my biological father. I knew 5 things about him. And
Okay.
in December, I was on Facebook, and this is all God. I saw a group called Looking for Lost Family Members.
Hmm.
And I put in my information, picture of my mom, my dad who raised me, and I put the things that I knew about my dad. And after all of that, less than a few weeks, I knew my biological first cousin.
Oh wow.
Yes, and
Yeah.
found out that my uncle was an actor, excuse me, before he died. And my
Okay.
father, I knew that he was already deceased and he was murdered. I knew his name and what high school.
Okay.
So that has brought a lot of closure. So I have a half sister, and she's eventually going to get in touch with me. And I talked to my dad's first cousin. Now,
Okay.
I don't think they ever knew about me. I'm not even sure if he even knew about me.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
some of my traumas, my sister passing away, Stacy, I helped raise my siblings. My dad, of course, I was just speaking of, being homeless, reinventing myself in my career in my 50s, still trying to do it in my 60s, um, being sexually abused. I mean, I could just go on about all my traumas. So I started writing those down, and I said, okay, I can do this. So
Hmm.
I created the name Release Pain to Power. And as you stated, coaching women to release their pain caused by hardship and trauma. And it's based on my personal traumas and their traumas, right? And now this year I pivoted over to offer to men, and any other communities are welcome.
Nice. Nice.
Yes.
Tracy, I have found, one of the things that you said, and my audience knows I'm a Christian, I'm faith filled. But one of the things that you said is that you wrote the 14 traumas down, right? And I have, I wrote a book as well. And writing is cathartic, is healing. It is a admission of holding on to certain things, whether they don't, it doesn't matter. I shouldn't say it doesn't matter. That's not the word I'm looking for. Why it came to you, how it came to you, all of that is one thing, but just simply admitting that it happened to you and not nothing else. It happened to you, right? I believe is a first step in healing. And then you start to kind of process those things. So kudos to you for helping people to process through those things. It's never your fault for the different trauma that you may experience or trauma that's brought into your life, but being able to process those things, I think, starts with writing. That is why my book came to be. Sounds like it's why yours came to be as well in your whole coaching program.
Exactly. So, a few minutes ago, I mentioned how trying to live in my truth and thinking family members will get mad at me. There's family members who are not talking to me to this day for telling my truth. I
Mm.
just posted on Facebook last week about my situation of being homeless and living in abandoned homes while my father who raised me, and I put full disclosure PSA. Remember, I am 60 years old, like for real, before you start whispering.
Mm.
Don't.
Before we continue, if you've ever felt the pressure to perform, produce, and prove while carrying everything else, I wrote The Power of the Pause for you. It's a practical guide to leading with clarity instead of burnout, and it's available now, along with corner office apparel designed for women who mean business. Check the show notes for your link so you can get your copy or you can get your t-shirt. Oh, and if your organization is looking for a host, facilitator, or speaker who understands leadership and lived experience, you can book me directly at drebonystone.com. All right, let's get back to the conversation. So, this is a very interesting conversation because people also, I think that you got to live in your truth, whatever your
You
truth
do.
is.
And if you ask me, I will tell. But don't ask me and you don't want to hear the answers or
yes, no.
Right? So that is that with my 14 traumas. So I created an ebook called Breakthrough Healing, and it's on my website, releasepaintopower.com.
And we'll make sure we put all of these links. We'll make sure all of these links are in the show notes so folks can get to you.
Okay, so and on the website, it's 10 videos, 6 modules. You can purchase it alone, and you also can go through the actual programs. So interesting enough, I collaborated with myself with Heavenly Connects. So I talk about Heavenly Connects. So because this year what I did, I changed my pricing structure so that you can buy bundle of packages between Release Pain to Power and Heavenly Connects. So I pivot to that as well. Excuse me. But it's a self-paced training that you could take, and then you can have private sessions, you'll have group sessions, you'll have webinars as well, depending on what package you decide to sign up with. But let's go to Heavenly Connects. So Heavenly Connects was a mobile app. Now I pivoted to just be Heavenly Connects app, because now you can access it on your laptop, your tablet, your cell phone, your computer, desktop, and all that good stuff. But Heavenly Connects came about because my sister Stacy, who I helped raise, passed away unexpectedly in 2017. And that is one of my traumas. And didn't have an opportunity to say goodbye. And after that, I ended up going to therapy. And then I ended up going to group therapy. And I've been in therapy all my life because of my traumas. And today I have a psychiatrist and a therapist. And I'm proud to say that. Right?
Yes, I am a huge proponent of therapy. Love my therapist dearly. And my phone, I almost dropped it. People will say, oftentimes after I advocate for people being in therapy, I'll get a text message or two that will say, can you recommend a therapist? I keep a note in my phone that has like 10 to 15 therapists that either I have worked with or people who I respect have recommended. And I will shoot them out to people to just say like, hey, vet them and figure out which one works for you. I don't say, hey, go to this one or go to that one, but I share those. One thing, Tracy, that you probably don't know, because I don't think we've ever talked about it, is unfortunately, one thing that you and I have in common is that we both had sisters named Stacy that we lost unexpectedly to, my sister, Stacy, my sister was older than me, 4 years older than me, and I lost her to a drunk driver in 2002. Both her and my niece were killed by a drunk driver. And
wow,
not that death is ever anything that you can prepare for, but it's a different kind of thing when they are just snatched from you and there was no warning, you just didn't know it was coming. Like you go to bed one night and you wake up and they are no more. That's a different kind of pain.
It is a different type of pain. And not knowing my mother, because my mother was in and out of our lives, she had 4 children by 21. That's a trauma for me. So as I told you before, that I helped raise my siblings, and Stacy was my sister. And I used to tell her, I'm your favorite sister. She like, you're my only sister. and she died of an accidental overdose. And next thing you know, I saw her, she was on the floor, deceased.
I'm so sorry.
So I had inherited her daughter because I helped raise the 3 of her children because she was a single mother.
Okay.
And her husband actually shot into our home when we lived in Detroit.
Oh my goodness.
I was glazed across my rear end. My Kevin was shot 6 or 10 times. He still has a bullet in his knee.
Oh my goodness.
And she actually stayed with him. And you know what? You would never, I never understood why. it took me years to understand and watch the situation, how she would move from house to house, house to house. My niece just told me her daughter said that they moved 8 times before she was like 10 years old.
Mm.
And all the abuse that they witnessed of what he did to their mother. And to this day, he is in prison because of rape. But you know what? He told my sister that he would rape me as opposed to shooting me.
Mm.
And I took him to court as well, and he went to prison for it.
My goodness.
So he still haunted my sister and her children for years. So it started when Heavenly Connects was created, because after I had my niece Micaiah, Stacy's daughter, she came to me in 2018 because Stacy passed in 2017, the day before my birthday.
Mm.
Then my mentor, Dr. Cobb, passed away in 2022, 2 days after my birthday.
My goodness.
Having death around your birthday. And then my mother-in-law, Mrs. Simpson, God rest her soul, and Stacy and Silas as well, she passed away in October around my birthday as well.
Mm.
So Micaiah came to me. She said, Auntie, do you remember my mom's voice? I said, sure, I remember your mom's voice. And that was in 2018. 2019, Stacy came to me in spirit.
Okay.
I am a Christian woman as well. I believe in Jesus. I believe in God. I believe in the Spirit, Holy Spirit, all of that. But her spirit came to me and it told me to create this mobile app. So I did my research in 2020. And then in 2021, I found a app developer, and they created Heavenly Connects. Now, originally with Heavenly Connects app, it was just for uploading your deceased loved ones' voice messages, text messages, videos, all the mementos about their life. Then as I started diving into it, and with my creativity, I'm like, oh, how about a community feature? You can share your information just for you, public or private. Yes. Also, you're building up a sense of community of individuals who have lost their loved ones. And then there is a segment that I was on in December on WDIV.
Yes, I saw that.
Yes, news. So your audience can go back and actually watch that. I'm so proud of that moment. And that is because Charlene Mitchell, she was on the news years ago. She's won multiple awards. So she also had me in the Detroit pages. I'm in that. I had an article written up, and all some podcasts she got me on, a few of them, and I would have had to pay. So she's working the magic. So she is a media consultant for your entrepreneurs who are looking. She's in the Metro Detroit area. I don't know if you were too young. Do you remember Mel Farr?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, you remember the corny commercial?
For a far better deal.
You do remember.
Yes.
Oh, you know, Charlene Mitchell created that commercial.
Oh, okay.
She worked with him for 15 years.
Yeah. So I remember all that. I remember him flying around in the cape. I remember. I ain't so young. I remember all of that. As a matter of fact, Tracy, I remember. Of course, I remember Winkleman's. That was the only place, when I wore pantyhose. I don't even wear them anymore. But when I wore them, that's where my mom had me get pantyhose from. I remember my parents shopping at Winkleman's that you mentioned, and my dad used to work at Kenny Shoes. So I'm not
really.
Yes. I'm not that young.
What was that? 1970 what?
60s?
I don't know.
I was born in 74, and my dad was working there then. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have to check this, but I'm pretty sure my brother worked for Kenny Shoes, maybe in high school, like in the late 80s. I think.
Yeah. I was 16. That was my first job.
Yep. So no, I remember Mel Farr. I remember all that stuff.
Yes. So Micaiah came to live with me. Now listen to this. 2 weeks before Stacy passed away. So I already had her daughter, and she came to me and she asked me, Auntie Tracy, do you remember my mom's voice? I said, yes, I remember your mom's voice. And then Stacy came to me in spirit. And I started creating Heavenly Connects. Also, there's a resource feature. If there's a resource feature that companies, businesses can advertise, cemeteries, funeral home, life insurance agents, therapists, psychiatrists, all of them can advertise in the app.
Perfect. We're gonna have to get 5 Stones Memorials, my other company. On that.
Yes, we will have to do that. And if when you can go on to heavenlyconnects.com, because I took it off of Apple and Android because of the fees that they charge. So now you can just go on my mobile to get to my app on heavenlyconnects.com and sign up.
Okay.
And utilize the app from there. Yes.
Nice. So how has entrepreneurship been treating you in comparison, let's say in comparison to the workforce?
In comparison to the workforce, it has been treating me very well. I'm in charge of my own destiny, as cliche as that may sound. I have built some amazing relationships with many successful women that are so invaluable. I have met not just women, as men as well. It has opened doors for me to travel to India to speak last year as an international speaker now. Put that title there. And being on a panelist as well. I actually went there to do community service, and I'm going back next month to do the same. And I launched my app in India and released Paint the Power. And then I launched it again in Detroit at my 60th birthday party in October. So I'm going back, and I'm going to be talking to investors and speaking and panelists and working in the village and things like that. So it has opened that door. Also, it has opened the door. I'm a part of an organization called the Black Door Society, and my longtime friend nominated me. I was accepted, and that's how India came about, because one of my sisters was going to India, and she invited us to go, and then I went.
Okay.
So that door came open. Then I'm part of WOO, which is Women Elevating Women, and that is Dr. Betty, and she's had that organization, I'm almost sure, for 30 years. And going to the conference last year and being a part of that organization, it has opened up some doors as well.
Nice.
Yes. And then I'm part of Women Official Network. That's local, and it's very inexpensive. I think I may pay $35 to join, and the majority of their events are free.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you get a lot of resources through that. So being open as an entrepreneur has opened all those doors to have sisterhood, community, networking, engaging with people and that you never would have, and opening all those doors and being in the room with all these successful men and women.
Yes.
Now, the other side of it is I would still love to get back in corporate, because I believe I have a lot of skills and experience and a lot to offer an organization.
Absolutely.
So my goal was to continue at the manufacturer that I was at and take it into retirement, and then while I'm growing my 2 brands. So yes, now I'm going to free events. I'm getting tickets, being sponsored, whatever, because now I have to manage my money and change my lifestyle. But you know what? During COVID and today, being in my home, growing my businesses, my brands, you know what? I color, I read, I write. I'm writing my own book. And this year, I'm part of 2 other books, and I co-writer amongst, I think it's 20 women, and I wrote a chapter in each book.
Okay. Nice.
One
do
is
you
about,
know?
Say that
I
over.
was just going to say, what do you have the titles of those anthologies? They're coming out later in the.
Yes, the anthology. One is Love and Peace, and the other one is about happiness.
Nice.
Yes.
I love that for you, Tracy. Listen, listening to your story from even, as you talk about the trauma you experienced as a child, going through that into being in the workplace, moving around, getting married, getting divorced, having your boys, and all of those things. You have had a very full life, and it hasn't stopped. You're continuing to build your own brands, and I think all of that is absolutely tremendous. So one of the things that I like to ask everyone when they're here, when you think back over that entire story, And say you're sitting at a coffee shop and you're working on your, I don't know, your marketing plan, let's just say. And someone comes up to you and they say, hey, I know you. You're Tracey Ilene, and I want to make a story about your life. What would they call the story of your life? And who would play you?
I would actually like to have a woman's play.
Ah, okay.
I would. I don't know if you had opportunity to see Judge Mathis play.
I did not. No.
I saw it. I got a free ticket. Took my niece, her first play, but he told his life.
Okay.
He was the moderator for his life, and it was included as a movie interactive play. That's what they called it. So
Okay.
I would love to have something similar to that and play myself.
Okay. What would you call it?
Wow. Well, I would love to have a podcast, Release Pain to Power with Tracey Ilene.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly the name of that play, but it could be Release Pain to Power with Tracey Ilene. But I would love to incorporate the names Release Pain to Power and Heavenly Connects.
Okay.
So I need to continue brainstorming what would be the actual name, but I would definitely like to have a woman's play for sure.
All right. Listen, with all that you've accomplished in your life, I am sure we're going to see that one woman play soon. And I will be looking forward to it. Listen, guys, it's been amazing chatting with Tracey today. All of the things that Tracey mentioned, all of the resources, and of course, we will put in our show notes. But I want to leave you with this. No matter what you've been through, just like Tracey said, you can write it down and you can work through it. You can process it. You can come out on the other side stronger for having gone through it. And then you can help other people do that as well. So no matter what you're going through, know that you will come out on the other side. Until next time, you guys know what to do. Keep spreading that Black girl magic on everything you do. Tracey, thank you for being here. Guys, we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Dr. Ebony. I really appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, let me stop recording. Thank you for spending time with me today. If this episode spoke to you, share it with another Black woman who needs this reminder. And don't forget to subscribe. You'll find links to my book, apparel, and speaking information in the show notes. Until next time, lead with intention and give yourself permission to pause. And you know what else? Keep spreading that Black girl magic on everything you do.